Do you ever make a statement and then circumstances change a couple of days later and you look back on what you said and thought, that was tone deaf? So this is my response to a video that I did a couple of days ago. And now circumstances changed, so my opinion changed. Let's dive into it. So, with this whole current crisis, global, what's going on, I was feeling very confident, very safe, and very prepared. Because I'm kind of a news buff, so I was in the news for months knowing this was coming. So I had literally been preparing for this for months. But what I was expecting is not how it's now turning out. So let's talk about what I was expecting first, what really happened, which was very positive. That's why I did the video that I did, and how it's changing again now. So I felt very prepared, very confident. I started prepping, I think, 2 years ago. So that's before all of this came in the news. And I wanted to be a luxury survivor because I thought, why buy all kinds of foods that just hold for a really long time, but you don't really enjoy? So I really wanted to make the most of it. I thought, I'm going to do luxury survival. Come luxury survival with Stefania. So I was really content with all of the preparations I had done. And when it came to the Netherlands and to Europe, everybody was freaking out. And I was sitting here like just feeling so superior. Like, I'm prepped for this. I got my toilet paper months ago. So I felt very good. And when the panic hit, it was initially it was just like the supermarket. And then slowly we went into more kind of a lockdown situation. The lockdown quarantine is not what I had expected it to be at all. It's like, we're locked down. You can go outside to get some air. You can go to the supermarket. Like, this is not what I was expecting. I always expected that in an emergency situation, I would be like sitting in the dark in a corner with a lot of blankets on top of me somehow. It's always that's the image I had in my mind. Apparently, I thought that I wasn't gonna have heating anymore, and the sun is shining through the window right now. That was also never in my scenario. So, and then in a lockdown, still being able to go outside and go to the store for food, like, what did I prepare for? So yeah, the sense of emergency just wasn't very high with me. And of course, I understand there are people sick and there are people dying. And of course, my heart goes out to the people that have lost people and to the people that are suffering themselves. Like, I don't want to diminish that in any means. It was just how my perspective was from looking at an emergency situation. Feeling very good. Still a lot of freedoms despite a lockdown. From that like mind frame, I made my last videos. Like, why is everybody like the worst thing that you heard people talking about? And of course, like, this excludes the people that are sick. It's like my holiday's not happening. Like, I'm missing this TV show. This sport event is canceled. Party is canceled. Oh my God. You know, like a very spoiled Western reaction. And I thought that was kind of funny as well, because like that is like the last thing you expect people to complain about in a global crisis. Like me, if that's the worst, then we're doing pretty good. So that was the mindset that I had at that time. And when we went into the lockdown, like, you expect it to be like 2 weeks or a month, and you understand that the economy is going to get hit, but like the government's going to give some financial injections, and you expect that when the quarantine is lifted, everything bounces back, and maybe there's some damage here or there, but nothing too serious. So I swear to God, after uploading the video, a couple of days later, everything changed. Everything changed. So this Harvard study comes out saying, like, we might have to be in lockdown off and on for the coming 2 years. Like, 2 years. And there has been talk, and this has also been going on for months, but about people getting reinfected. And supposedly, when you get reinfected, the damage to your lungs keeps getting bigger and bigger. So that if people can get reinfected over and over and over and over again, like, the death toll is going to be much higher, of course. Like, it's just going to eat away every time you get it. And like, that's not what I was expecting. Then like, the world economy under news like this is just freaking the fuck out. Like, nobody is prepared for this. Like, nobody saw this coming. Like, most people can deal with a couple of weeks of lockdown. That's just the truth. And especially when it's like kind of announced. So people, even though they rushed the stores, like we had so much stock that really everybody could get what they wanted, so it wasn't really a problem. And now it's like, well, if this is going to take 2 years and people can get reinfected, and then other people are saying, well, what if the grid goes down? Like, why are you putting that on top of it? It's terrible enough with the global economy tanking and being in lockdown for 2 years. Why are you adding the electricity to that? Like, can we bring it down? Like, but of course, like, if like the whole world goes into lockdown for off and on for 2 years, then distribution is going to be impacted. Like, there's no way around that. I know you've already heard, and this has been going on for months as well, that the air quality is so much better in China. Now it's also come out for the Netherlands that it's like improved significantly. So, and a lot of that is due to the planes not flying as much, but it's also, of course, industry. So what kind of industry from China are we all depending on? And how is that going to impact us if this goes on for 2 years? I mean, you can have all the money in the world, but if distribution is cut, like, seriously, nobody's prepared for that. Well, I did saw a little thing about that, about people having, like the rich, having bunkers that you can hold out for 50 years. So there are always some people that can last. But, you know, for our normal you and me people, nobody's prepared for 2 years of this. So, yeah, then looking back on what I said is completely tone deaf. And now the situation is getting scary. So, another thing I was thinking about, like really changing gears here, is like, and this is also where I got a little bit afraid for myself, because first I thought just like, oh, I'm just like gonna isolate and not come in contact with it. But if you have to keep going to the store, you can be exposed. You are exposed, of course. I didn't smoke for 2 years, but yeah, I started again a while back. So my lungs are in horrible condition. And I have been battling shingles since December, and it was so weird because shingles can last for 6 months, and then you see it like 6 months, I'm gonna have 2 months and then I'm done. Well, I'm going on 4 months now and it's still there. And what I read about it is that it is because my immune system is down. And that was very weird to me because actually in December, I had just started ice skating again and I felt stronger than I have in over 20 years, like well over 20 years. So it was so weird to me to get like a virus that is acting out, that's supposedly happening because my immune system is down while I'm feeling stronger than ever. So I have a little bit of a problem with being overconfident, if you hadn't caught on to that yet. So that scares me. Like, oh, I am feeling all safe and secure here, and now all of a sudden I feel like I'm personally also in danger. So that's scary. So yesterday I looked into like, is it a good idea to quit smoking right now? And trust me, since I have started smoking again, I've been trying to quit again. It just hasn't been as successful. And one of the things I read was that sure, you can quit smoking now, but take into account that your immune system is going to be down for 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm like, do I now have to keep smoking to smoke to save your life? Like, so weird. So that was the other thing I was wanting to mention and what I was thinking about, and just like fun, like theories, thinking about stuff. So with that air quality that is so significantly improving, and it's of course something we all want. We all want the planet to be healthy and ourselves to live in fresh air. But if you all of a sudden cut it by so much, like, don't think that the earth is like, I think there are structures in the earth. Like, I'm not a geologist or a meteorologist or whatever the ologist. It's just like there must be like structures, like processes going on the earth, above the earth, that account for this influx of pollution, just like my body is when I smoke. Like, if I quit smoking immediately, I'm gonna have withdrawal symptoms. So I was thinking, like, and I don't know what kind of processes the earth has, but I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. And I thought, but what if this, like, all of a sudden cutting of the pollution is for the earth, like quitting smoking for the earth? It's gonna cough? How's that gonna look like? Are there gonna be earthquakes? Are there gonna be volcano eruptions? Like, that started to freak me out. And then the people that are freaking out, like, what if the grid is going to go? I was like, yeah, what if the grid is going to go? It's like all of a sudden we find ourselves in such a different situation. So seriously, stay with me. It's gonna be hopeful. I'm gonna turn this thing all around. Hang in there. Kind of taking it back to the video that I just did about panic. Like, is it a good idea to panic? Well, I think it is a good idea to face the fears that you feel right now. I think that's always a good idea, because when you process the fear, your perspective becomes clear. If you are hanging in the fear, it's like you're not thinking clearly, and then you're gonna make the wrong decisions. But if you completely process the fear, it's like, okay, so what do we do now? So I think that is a healthy place to get to mentally. And then you can also say, like, what do we do now? Like, seriously, what do we do now? Like, nobody knows what's going to happen. Like, there is no protocol for this. So we really just have to sit back, calm, and see what happens. Like, it's not going to help you panicking, running the streets, screaming. Like, that's for sure not going to help. So you need to be as calm as possible to deal with this. But yeah, the situation drastically is changing now. And so I just basically wanted to correct of what I said before. And yeah, tomorrow I'm just going to continue with my weekly healing sessions. So you can definitely, if you follow me on any platform, you are considered an Illkiller, and that's what I focus on during the healing. So then you'll be included in that if that's something you enjoy. That's completely for free. I have, of course, the grounding workshop that you can always use to learn how to calm yourself down. I got all kinds of free resources that you can check out and exercises that you can do. I, of course, wish everybody the very best in this situation. It's like, how do I turn this into a positive? Like, I don't. There is, like, I think we definitely have a lot of reason to be hopeful. I mean, that is also what I mentioned in that other video. Like, we have never been in a better position than we are now globally with technology wise. I mean, all of our leaders are in contact with each other and thinking about the best things to do. All of the scientists have the possibility to connect to each other. So that is very hopeful. That is actually very hopeful. So I definitely think you shouldn't be like in a paralyzed fear type of situation. But we also need to face the fact that it is a lot more serious than at least I expected at first. Like, I thought we are having a luxury quarantine for 2 to 4 weeks, and like, that may not happen at all. And another thing I wanted to mention is, like, so that's what my thought was first, and then it went to, oh my god, 2 years, and then you see some government processes going on like as usual, and it's like, wait, now people are talking about opening things up again despite the disease still running rampant. And I think, is nothing going to change? Is like, are we seriously in 2 weeks really go back to normal, pretend like nothing ever happened, and not adjust our policies that got us in this position in the first place? And I thought that would be the most depressing thing. On the one hand, it's like, oh, it's good because we can go back to normal, but because of this danger and this threat, it could still be a good catalyst for things to change in a positive direction. And like, one of the fears I have now also is not if it doesn't take 2 years, but we just go back to the way things were, keeping all of those, processes in place that got us in the situation to begin with. So that was, I think that, that's kind of depressing. Yeah, I was really on a roll to giving this a hopeful ending, and now I'm depressing myself again. So we're gonna end this hopeful, okay? Hopeful and positive. We have amazing scientists, amazing technology, and I think personally our leaders are doing a pretty good job. So let's just have faith in that for the moment. If you're concerned, like if you want to know more about meditation and emotions, if you want to have a consultation with me, just reach out, okay? And I wish you and your loved ones to all be safe. I just had to add a little thing in here, yes, because I remembered that the most positive, the most hopeful thing I was thinking about, I forgot to mention. So, and that is that we are for the first time globally in the same position. And what I hope is that it unifies people worldwide. Now we are already have the ability to be in contact with most people on the world, and that has been like a genius invention. The internet is everything. But facing adversity as a global population, I think that can lead to amazing, amazing things. So let's hope for that. Is that not the most hopeful thing in the world? I think it is. So we're going to end it on that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!